Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Lichty. I'm a candidate for the Sport Management Adjunct position at Jackson College. Before we dive into the interview, prepared a presentation on the commercial sector of sport management that we are going to walk through for a high level introduction on the sector and the ecosystem of companies and organizations within. So as we go through this, I have four learning objectives that I want us to, write down, think about as we're going through, and really be able to walk away with answers and ideas to regarding the impact of this sector. So as we go through, we're going to be discovering the five realms of the commercial sector. In each of those realms, there are for some of the realms are subcategories of other organizations and industries that each have their own niche piece to bring the sector together. Within these realms as well, there's going to be a wide range of organizations. So I want us to be able to understand where organizations, where brands, where teams, whatever it is, fit in the greater ecosystem. And taking that to the next level, I want us to think about some Jackson area or some companies from Michigan, how they play a role in the commercial sector and where they may fit in. So as I shared, there's five different areas. We have the professional sport organizations, the commercial sport organizations, sporting good manufacturers and retailers, and the media and greater world of corporations. So first off, we're going to start with what may be the most well-known and obvious area is the professional sport organizations. These are those leagues and organizations, teams that we watch on TV, that really are key drivers to the success of the sporting industry. Uh, Big for entertainment value when it comes to the valuation of these teams. In leagues such as Major League Lacrosse to more casual professional leagues, valuations could be around $1 million per entity, all the way up to the New York Knicks and Dallas Cowboys, who are valued over $4 billion, which is pretty wild. So, taking a look at some of those leagues, that's where NASCAR comes in, the Premier League for soccer, WNBA, the Professional Golf Association, and then provided some examples of franchises all the way to some pretty recognizable ones like the Detroit Tigers and Tennessee Titans, to entities such as Joe Gibbs Racing, the Dallas Wings, and the WNBA, Wallabies, and rugby. All these teams are within different leagues that represent the professional sport organizations. Looking at the commercial side, this area is a little more complex, but has very open arms into the the mix and range of companies that represent it. So we see fitness clubs, event management firms, facility operators. These different organizations offer both services, activities, forums for the community as well as sport organizations to begin to mix together. So, as a fan of the Pistons, you can't just play for the Pistons. You start going through these commercial sport organizations to get connected to the brand and the experience. So these different areas, as I mentioned, cross everything from rec venues to facility operators. So ski resorts like Vail, the local Michigan Sports Facility Center north of town, those are recreational venues that fall on the commercial side. Fitness clubs such as Curves, Powerhouse Gym, sport marketing firms as Olympia Entertainment, doing a lot of connecting the Detroit entertainment sports sector with the community, and you see facility operators which come to systems like LD systems, who have the scoreboard installations at arenas, to Irwin Seating Co., who's actually putting the seats in the building. So pretty complex area, but essential when it comes to the entertainment side of the world of sports. Next, we have the sporting goods manufacturers and retailers. This area, very recognizable brands come to play here. When it comes to the manufacturers, some of them, such as Nike and Moose Jaw, may also be in the retail space as well. They manufacture their goods. They may have sites and storefronts selling them as well. But primarily, the manufacturers and retailers are on two very different paths. So the industry as a whole is worth over 61 billion. The manufacturers that you see on the logos of jerseys to the sides of shoes, we see the Asics for running, Bauer for hockey, Callaway for golf. And when it comes to the retailers, that's where the Cabela's, the Myers, and the Fanatics start to cross over in terms of connecting with those branded goods with the end consumer. So it is a very powerful industry. There are a lot of affiliations where these manufacturers work directly with the leagues, directly with the teams, and the retailers create the vessel for you to purchase that product and uh, represent your team with your favorite swag. Going into media, media is, of course, traditional and new age, ranging from broadcast television to more interactive web services, sites, podcasts that are kind of changing the landscape of the way that sports information is delivered and that fans are engaged. So with media, advertising is a big driver behind it. You see networks such as ESPN, Fox, and CBS that have major agreements with certain leagues as significant revenue generators. Then you see more specialized networks such as Twitter, who does live streaming for the MLS. So while the MLS and ESPN, they might not have the visibility on that network and channel of companies, they found their own niche with an alternative form being Twitter to connect with the online audience, which is kind of cool and something we're going to be talking more of in this course. Then we see local JTV. They do deliver information on the sports front, not as big as Fox Sports and ESPN, but they do play a role as well in the ecosystem. For corporations, which is the final realm, this is one of the most powerful and influential out there. So these are the organizations that you'll see banners behind the backstop of baseball stadiums, hanging on the scoreboard at basketball arenas, plastered on the outside of buildings, all over the media space. So corporations have a pretty powerful influence on the industry, and it's all across the board. Sponsorships in the 2 years ago reached around 66 billion, and it's just such a vast range of impact. So you see organizations such as the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic sponsor the Minnesota Lynx in women's basketball. Great logo recognition with their logo being on the front of players' jerseys. DTE powers the energy squad for the Detroit Tigers. So the cheer team that's infiltrating the stands, DTE is on the backs and fronts of all their uniforms. Firekeepers, kind of a unique local example. We have the Firekeepers race at Michigan International Speedway as part of the NASCAR series. So all these companies and thousands more play critical roles in the system, connecting their brand with the audience, but also supporting the sport to make sure these events can be delivered with that financial backing. So in summary, thinking back to our objectives at the beginning, the sector consists of 5 realms. The commercial sector, the commercial sector has 5 realms of professional sport organizations, commercial sport organizations, sporting good manufacturers and retailers, the media, and corporations from abroad. This includes, of course, the seats that you're sitting in, to the method of delivery, whether it's watching a game on Fox Sports or listening on the radio, all the way down to the clothes the players are wearing and that you are wearing as fans. commercial sector is pretty immense when it comes to the power and reach. Then moving forward, just think about some of those local brands. What are the impact that they have in the commercial sector? Uh, think, could these sport organizations exist without the financial support and infrastructure that these different organizations bring to the table? And as a marketing student, what realm intrigues you the most when it comes to connecting with consumers? And we'll talk about that more in the course. Here are our sources, and that ends the presentation and transitions us to time for questions. Thank you, and look forward to chatting more.